Hey, what is up, y'all? Welcome to Solo Game Day here at Heavy Cardboard. Teach, play, and discuss medium and heavy strategy board games, war games, 18xx. I am your host, Edward Euler. Happy to be joined by y'all since it's Solo Game Day. It's on today. I'm excited to be bringing y'all, again, The Hunters. Designed by Gregory M. Smith and published by GMT Games in association with Consim Press. I am really excited about today. I have a custom map. If you were not with me on the last stream of this, I have a custom map. It is linked down below in the show notes, so you can get that printed. I had this printed at Staples and then had them send it to me. I'm really happy with how this turned out. This is not the map that comes with the game, so keep that in mind, but it is available. It cost me, I think, 21 bucks to get it printed on some nice thick paper, I guess it is, cardstock, whatever, and it rolls up really nice. Everything else is from the original first edition of the game. I have also my trusty little flowchart, if you will, or my play-by-play that I'm going to be using for this game as well. Now with this is also linked down below in the show notes, so I'm going to be using that. We're going to be walking through the first couple of patrols, hopefully couple of patrols, together very slowly using a conjunction of the charts that come with the game in addition to that flowchart I just showed you guys. The flowchart is not going to be on camera today. The chart that came with the game is, as well as various other charts I will be showing you guys as we go along. That said, I'm not going to do a full teach of this up front. It'd be impossible. It doesn't make sense. So what I'm going to do is give an overview of what it is we're going to be doing today, and then we're going to dive whole hog into this bad boy. I am really excited. And it's going to go well. Think positive. And in celebration of that, I'm drinking German breakfast tea. It's English breakfast, but Kriegsmarine today. So for the fatherland, right? Yes, Rocky, just like Captain Sonar. Exactly. All right. So yeah, if y'all are ready, I'm ready. Well, I guess first off, thank you to all the patrons who choose to support the show. I got a little carried away. I'm really stoked to get into this today. I apologize. But seriously, thank you to all the patrons who choose to support the show. Thank you to everybody watching live around the world as well as after the fact. If you guys do enjoy the show today, give it a thumb down below. Subscribe to the channel if you're not already. And seriously, if you're not, why not? If you're watching this, I imagine you enjoy it, so subscribe down below. Last but not least, if you want to join the herd and you think the content that I create here on Heavy Cardboard is worth $1 or $2 a month, I certainly would appreciate it. You can go to pledgehc.com as well as check out the, I can say this now, award-winning podcast over on heavycardboard.com or your favorite podcast app. All right, now I'm ready. We got red for the colors here. Where is it? Right there, you guys can see. Red on the Geek and Sun table. Yeah, we're ready to go. Y'all ready? Let's get into this, shall we? All right. So, this is the custom map. This is not part of the game, normally. Normally, what it looks like, essentially, is this. I don't know about y'all. Call me crazy. I think that looks prettier. I like that. So I'm leaving the chat up, I'm leaving the cameras up, I'm leaving all of that stuff up for you guys to see today since I'm not doing a full teach on the front end. So yeah, before we get started, let me zoom out real quick And actually, I am going to take those down for a moment here so you guys can see everything. So the stuff that is off camera and everything there, all of that stuff is going to be off camera or shown on various other cameras as well. All right. So that is pretty close to where I wanted it. So there you go. So the things that are off camera are various chits, damaged chits, the targets that we're going to be going after, whether they're small freighters, tankers, or large freighters, etc. Everything else pretty much is going to be on screen. And then the escorts and the aircraft that we may or may not encounter. We probably will at some point. But yeah, so what is it we're doing here? Well, yours truly, and I guess by default, you guys associated with me, are on, we are Commandant, or Commandant Lieutenant officially is our rank, or a Captain Lieutenant is our rank. We are the Commandant or Commander of a U-boat. I have chosen us to have U-boat 819. Kind of made sense today. And we are going to go out on patrols starting in September of 1939 and going to, at the latest, June of 43. However, if we meet our demise prior to that, the goal of the game is to sink Allied shipping. Now, that's going to be represented by the various targets that we're going to encounter. And a successful campaign, if you will, even if we are lost at sea, whether we are sunk or captured, is 150,000 tons of Allied shipping, whether they be capital ships, whether they be tankers, whether they be large freighters or small freighters, all right? A lot of this is all about the die rolls and being successful in our die rolls. There is a huge amount of randomness in this game with the die rolls. There are decisions to be made. I don't want to discount that, but we are going to be at the mercy of the dice to some degree. And this game is all about the story that it tells and less about, it's an experience game, much less so than a strategy game, even though there are strategic decisions that have to get made, all right? All right, so let's kind of go over what it is that you guys are looking at here to begin with. Well, we have a map out here, which is a, if I am correct in my description of this, is this map is actually broken down into grids, and this helped command know the location of their various, to mark the location of their various U-boats and wolf packs that are out there, because U-boats generally at some point in the war would hunt in wolf packs or in multiple U-boats. Now, each of these areas up here are various patrols that we may be going on throughout the game. More often than not, we're going to start over here with the British Isles, okay? And there are two types of boxes, essentially. There are more than two, but there are two types of boxes. There are red bordered boxes out here, which are generally called transit boxes. So you are transiting to the patrol area. And then the black boxes are transit locations. Are patrol locations. So in other words, we will be transiting there and have to avoid contact, hopefully, and then we will actually do our patrols in the black boxes themselves. Now, there are more details to the various boxes than just that, and so if you take a look, and I will show you guys this, we'll move over, well, I will try to. Aha, hold on. Oh, I realize what the problem is. Give me just a moment. A moment. Ha! It's fixed now. All right, give it a second. There we go. Having an issue with one of the cameras. A moment. Why are you not cooperating? A moment. There we go. we're good now. All fixed. There we go. So, as I was saying, there are essentially two types of boxes. The red boxes are the transit boxes, as you can see up here, okay, and the various types of different transit boxes. And then the black bordered boxes are patrol boxes. Now, the type of U-boat that we have chosen to start with is a Type 9 Alpha, all right? So anywhere you see the IX is going to be in reference to our type of U-boat. So you'll see here that no IX in the Arctic. So we're not going to be doing any Arctic patrols as long as we are the commander of a Type 9 U-boat. Then Type 7, it pertains to a Type 7, okay? Type 7 or, various Type 7s there. And then mission boxes have the little M in this as well. Now you'll notice here that for a Type 9 Alpha, has an A in the top left corner. So if that happens, we're going to either have we're going to have 2 or 3 various types of encounters on that, in that patrol box specifically. Okay, hopefully that makes sense, and we'll go over that more in detail as we go along. So, how the game progresses, essentially, is we're going to go out on patrol, and we're going to roll for randomly. Possibly we'll be able to choose what types of patrols we go out on, meaning what locations we're going to go on location or go on patrol. Then we will have to roll for the transit boxes, and then we will roll to see what types of encounters, what types of ships we encounter, whether they are regular, like a single ship, 2 ships, a convoy, a capital ship, or with or without escorts. Then we're going to have to determine, are we going to fight at night or at day? And then down here at the bottom, we have kind of a view of our U-boat, if you will. And our U-boat has various different bits of information on it. So if you take a look here, we have over here on the left-hand side, we have 4 torpedoes, and there are 2 types of torpedoes in our U-boat. They are G7 Alphas or G7 Echoes. Now, the difference are steam versus electric. Now, steam travel faster, tend to be more accurate because they travel faster. However, when steam is released underwater, it releases bubbles. Well, a bubble, a stream of bubbles while a torpedo is going, well, the target ship would be able to trace back where that came from and then be able to see, oh, that's where the U-boat is. So it's really, really dangerous to fire these during the day. Well, the electric torpedoes do not have that telltale sign of steam bubbles behind them, but they tend to be a little bit slower, and they required more maintenance, and they were more prone to being duds than these steam ones. So it's a riskier, more accurate, and higher percentage of successes. Less risky during the day, but slower, less accurate, and more prone to being a dud. So something to keep in mind with, okay? So those are the 2 types of torpedoes that we're going to have on our U-boat. Then we also have a deck gun. Now our deck gun comes with 5 shots, if you will. It is a 105 millimeter or a 10.5 centimeter deck gun that will be able to attack ships as well, but those only have 5 shots total. And then over in the aft part of the sub or of the U-boat, I'm going to use those terms interchangeably, we have 2 aft torpedo tubes loaded already with 2 steam, and then we have reloads over here as well. So there are a total of 22 torpedoes on our ship, on our U-boat to begin with. And we may have to, and probably will, have to go back into port to be able to refit to either fix damage that may happen to our U-boat or to be able to get more reloaded before we go out on another patrol. All right, a couple more things and then we're going to get started. So our rank to start with is a captain lieutenant, okay, there. Our crew is a trained crew. It could be a green crew, could elevate to a veteran or elite crew there. Then we have various other markers out here. Our range will either be close, medium, or long range as we go along. Then we have potentially hull damage and flooding that we're going to have to encounter or deal with as the game goes along. Then over in the center part here of our U-boat are various things that may get damaged as we take damage, as well as flooding that may happen. But we'll go over all this a lot more in detail as we go along. But other than that, oh, I guess there is one more thing we probably ought to look at, which is our logbook entry. So our logbook over here, and I'll move this out of the way real quick, shows that we are a Type 9 Alpha U-boat. It is, and this is all flavor text now, is U-819. And Herman Hagenau. Now, I did look up a little bit of research for U-boat commanders, and he actually, I think he died in either it was 1993 or in the 2000s. He survived the war. He also was, not Herman, but last name Hagenau. He actually was a Type 9 Captain Lieutenant Commandant. So that was pretty cool. So we will be tracking here for what patrols we go on, what our targets were, and whether or not it was successful and how much we sunk. Because again, a successful game, if you will, is going to be a total of 150,000 tons or more. All right? All right. So there we go. That's good enough to get started, I think. And speaking of which, a moment. Well, we're off to a good start. See if we're, come on. Hey, there we go. Cheers, Steve. Thank you for the support. He went to pledgehc.com, supported the show. Really, really appreciate it. Thank you very much, Steve. All right. So, let's get started, shall we? All right. So, I'm going to break out my handy-dandy little elephant binder, which has, I will show you guys some of this here. So, this is that detailed setup and sequence of play for the hunters. This is with the latest version of the rulebook, the second edition. My game is technically the first edition, so I think I'm missing like 2 counters that came into it. Something like that. It's trivial. As long as you have an updated copy of the rulebook and or this, you're good to go. All right. So, there is one counter that I do not have, which is surface or submerged. So I just grabbed a little yellow cube because it shows up well on camera. All right. Time for some redemption. Here we go. So the first things first is we have to, and a moment. All right. We have to determine our patrol assignment. All right. Now, because we are a captain lieutenant, we are allowed to roll a D6, and I believe that it is, I have to check one thing. If you roll a 1 or a 6, then you can choose where you're going to go on patrol. So, a moment while I look up what number it is technically. I apologize for not having that memorized. I cannot find it. So you know what? We're just going to call it a 6. How's that? All right. I don't think it really matters. All right. Hey, Hans from Germany. Hello. All right. All right, here we go. So a 1 to 6 or a 6 specifically, we get to choose. We do not get to choose. All right. So now what's going to happen is we have to choose, or we have to find out where our patrol is going to be. So we take a look now over here at our patrol assignment, okay? All right. So it is 1939, so we're going to roll 2d6s to determine where it is we're going to go. So we're going to take a look at that, okay? All right, so we're going to roll 2d6s, and it looks like we rolled a 7, so surprise, surprise, surprise. Not really. We are going to go on patrol in the British Isles, all right? So we head over to our logbook here, there. And we're going to just put British and an I there. So that's going to be our first patrol in September of 39. All right. So that is all set. We are ready to rock and roll there. Now we have to determine, or we have to transit. So, and I want to show you guys this a bit in detail. So I will show you guys this, what it would look like when you order the game. Your boat or your playmat looks like this. It's a Type 9 Alpha, as you can see here, and the British Isles there. Now, this one is if we had a special mission here, but we do not, so it's just the regular British Isle. So it's going to be, because it's 1939, it's going to be just 2 regular transit boxes. Ignore the Bay of Biscay for 1939. We don't need to worry about that, okay? All right, so we have a transit box, then 5 patrol boxes, and then 2 transit boxes to get out of there, okay? Okay, apparently it was a 1 that I needed to roll, but regardless, you get the idea. So the British Isles, we have 2 transit boxes, 5 patrols, 2 transit boxes, all right? So now that we have that set aside, we can actually, there we go. We can actually take a look at the actual map now. We have a transit box where we're going to start out at here. Then we have a transit box there on the British Isles. Then we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 patrols, and then a transit box and a transit box back. Okay, easy enough there, right? So now that we have determined that we are going to the British coast or the British Isles, now we have to actually flip that over and go into the transit ones. So the only thing that matters here is if we roll a 2, 3, or a 12. One other thing I wanted to show you guys, and that is that one there. All right, so if we take a look, so 2, 3, or 12 for the transit box, right? If we take a look there, this is on the left corner of the map over here. You'll see transit box, 2, 3 are aircraft, 12 is a ship. Everything else doesn't matter. So we have the Gibraltar and we have the Bay of Biscay on this map, but neither of those matter. We just have a regular transit, or as what comes with the game, we have that. Okay, so 6 of one, half dozen of the other, whichever you want to use, and I'll probably be using this for you guys for today's game, but you get the idea. So we'll go ahead and move back to our dice. We're going to roll 2d6, and we're off and rolling. So that is a 4, which means it's not a 2, 3, or a 12. So that's it. So at that point, we move from that transit box to the next transit box. And then we do it again. 2, 3, or 12. Whew, close. Close. Ship almost saw us, but didn't. So, okay. So we have an 11, so no harm, no foul there. And now we get into the first patrol. All right? Okay. So now that we are in a patrol, where are we patrolling? We are patrolling in the British Isles. Okay. So now we go from this box here up, or this chart there, to the British Isles chart. So anything that has a dash means nope, nothing happens in that patrol area. Okay. or that encounter box. There are 5 of these, okay? So a 2 would be fantastic. Getting a capital ship, that would be really, really good because those are really big and heavy and they have special names and it makes for a really cool story. Ship, a ship and escort, a ship, a convoy, which is 4 ships, or an aircraft. We don't want a 12. Ideally, we really don't want a 6 either. Anything else? Okay. So, that said, let's roll. That's a 6. Awesome. Ship and an escort. Okay. So, we have a ship and an escort. So now, if we move that out of the way, oh, combat versus escorted ships, you say. Okay. All right. Nice. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to walk through this slowly, but in addition, I'm going to be using my little cheat sheet, little sequence of play here as well. So it's a ship and an escort. So what I'm going to do is I have these marked out in chapters. So let me actually show you guys this a little bit in detail, okay? So all of these are flagged with the different chapters here that this is actually, or packets, I believe they're called out. I have them written down here. I believe Amanda helped me set this up way back years ago. And so here we go. So we have, this is for unescorted up here, but we have escorted. So we look here, ship and escort is going to be packet number 7. So we flip over to packet number 7, says ship and escort encounter procedure. But this is just going to be a very detailed, very step-by-step for this one, but it's also a little bit more broad and general on this as well as the chart. So I'm going to be using a conjunction of both of those as we step through all of this, okay? All right, and this, again, this here is actually linked down below, so if you get a copy of the game, you can print this out as well, okay? All right, cool. All right, so first things first, we have to roll a 1d6 to determine whether or not it's going to be day or night. Night is always better for us. Period, amen, hard stop, night is always better. All right, so we need to roll a 1d6, and as you can see here, it says a 1 to 3 is day, 4 through night, or 4 through 6 is night. Now it's also actually out here on the map itself. Okay, so I will show you guys this. I'm going to, again, I'm not going to do this the whole every time, but you have 3 ways of doing this. You have this chart, you have this here, and you have the map itself out here. So you see here, day or night, 1d6, 1 to 3 is day, 4 through 6 is night. Now, these are all over the various parts of this board, so it's a little bit harder to use these, but I want to show you guys that you do have the option to go between this, that, or the packet here. Okay, so I hope all that makes sense and isn't too confusing. I'm just showing you guys the various things, since ultimately my goal here is to teach you guys how to play this so that when you get it, you'll be able to play it yourself. All right? All right, so that said, let's go ahead. We're hoping for a 4 through 6. I don't know what that was. Let's find out. It's hiding back here. It was a 6. Awesome. So that means we're at night. So this marker here will stay on the night side. If it were day, obviously it would flip over to the day side. All right, so we are night. Excellent, that is good news. All right, so then determine the ship size. Okay, so now the ship size is going to be, and again, using this, you see there on step number 4 is determine the ship size. Okay, cool. And another place to find it over here on this board is down here at the bottom of the paper. It says ship size. 1 through 3 is small, small freighter, 4 or 5 is a large freighter, and a 6 is a tanker. Okay? All right. So we will get back to that. We will get back to that. So we will roll a 1d6, and it's a 3. And a 3 says that it's going to be a small freighter. All right. So what we now need to do is we come over, we move this, we grab a small freighter marker, and we put it here on target number 1. Okay, done. So now it's a small freighter. We've determined that. So now what we have to do is we look at the small freighter roster here. So you'll notice that this goes from 1 to 100. So we're going to need 2 D10s, which the game comes with. So the D10s, there is a white and a black. The black die will always be the first digit. The white die will always be the second digit. So keep that in mind, all right? So black digit first, that looks like 24. 24, ugh, that is terrible. Trevisa, 1,800 tons. That's not good. Yeah. All right, well, it is what it is, though. So we come over to our logbook now, and we write down the Trevisa, and that is T-R-E, okay? And that is going to be a, I did that wrong. So we're going to actually write it here. It should be 1,600 with a S next to it for small freighter. And then we write Trevisa up above it. Just, again, for, you know, the strictly for a theme and for us to know what ship it is. Again, for, you know, after action reports or whatever that you may want to write up for this, et cetera, okay? All right, so we've determined what that is, but now, so this chart is done now. So it's not a capital ship. So we go through small freighter, then record the tonnage. Okay, done. If day, then we could switch to night. We're not. So now this says, technically, we go to select range. On my little handy dandy little step-by-step guide, it says now we have to go into the combat procedure for an escort present, which is packet number 15. So it is night. So now it says here, select a range, okay? However, the way this has it written is a little bit out of order. Says, if at night you have a choice, it either could be submerged or a surface attack. So surface or submerged. So let's go over what the details are on those, okay? So submerged, it's safer, obviously, because there is an escort. An escort means there is there are other ships out there basically escorting this ship, and it is more risky for us to do a surface attack as opposed to a submerged attack, all right? A surface attack, there is a penalty if it's in 1941 or later, which this is not. And then we need to decide whether or not we're going to fire 1 or 2 salvos, meaning just the forward tubes and the aft tubes, meaning we get all 4 shots of that, and the 2 and aft, that would be 2 salvos. And if we are on the surface at short range, we can also fire the deck gun. That's not going to happen because it's escorted. I'm going to make that command decision. So I think we do. It's a small ship, meaning tonnage-wise. I think we're going to choose medium range and a night submerged attack. All right? So now we have to go to the escort encounter procedure, which is, sorry, we do not. Let's go back to this. So select the range. At short range, check for escort detection. If you are at short range, the escorts get 2 chances to detect you. If you are not at short range, they get 1 chance to detect you, and it's not here. It's later on. So it makes sense that unless you want to incur the risk, or if if the target justifies incurring bigger risk, then you would go close range. As it is, it's a tiny ship, so we're not going to do that. We're going to go medium range. There's no reason for it to go further than medium range for right now, okay? All right, so select range. So at short range, you do this, but we're not at short range, so we can skip it. Select submerged or surface. Well, we've chosen submerged. Then assign torpedoes to ship targets, and then we're going to fire the torpedoes. All right. So let's look at this. A moment. Packet 15. There we go. All right. So what we need to do now is determine whether or not it's going to be 1 or 2 salvos. 1 salvo, we can fire either just the forward or just the aft. 2 salvos, we can fire both, meaning we can fire 6 torpedoes, 4 torpedoes, or 2 torpedoes on this. Now, because, and I also should point this out to you guys, because, give it a second. Camera's getting a little wonky there. There we go. Because it is a small freighter, you'll note that it will require 2 damage to be able to sink it, okay? If it were a large freighter or tanker under 10,000 tons, then it would be 3 damage. If it's more than 10,000 tons, it would take 4 damage. And if it's a capital ship, it will require 5 damage. Now, that does not mean 5 hits. That means 5 damage, okay? So it's a small freighter, so it's only going to require 2 damage. So now I will ask the peanut gallery, do you want us to fire the aft torpedoes? I think we're only going to do 1 salvo. Do we do the aft torpedoes or the forward torpedoes here? So you guys choose, in other words, 4 torpedoes or 2 torpedoes. All right? And there is a 33% chance that any torpedo that actually hits our target is a dud and doesn't actually explode. So keep that in mind as well. And there is a, I guess, 50% chance that each torpedo that isn't a dud will sink the freighter. So you have all the information now. So with that said, you guys choose. All right, well, okay. Alan says forward, but everybody else so far is saying aft. I was leaning towards aft as well, because honestly, if we miss it, not that big a deal. And to be honest with you, we don't have to engage this ship to begin with. If we don't want to, we could just be like, you know what? It's not big enough to take the risk that the escort detects us. So keep that in mind. I also should give that as an option as well, is we just say, you know what, to hell with it. And we just skip it and we go on to the next travel box. So I'll give you guys about another 30 seconds to decide, and then we'll carry forward. Was it 1800? Did I write the wrong? It was 1800. Thank you. There we go. Okay. So we have people on all 3 options. So you're going to leave it up to the captain, it looks like, to make the decision. You know what? Let's start the game off well. Let's go and fire the forward torpedoes, and let's just go ahead and just take a shot at it. All right? So we're going to fire one salvo, so we're going to take all 4 torpedoes, and we're going to move it over here into the 1 target box. Okay, like that. Easy enough, okay? All right, decision's done. All right, so now, if we take a look over here, and you know what? There's one other thing that I want to do. Give me just a second, guys. Can't believe I forgot them. All right, so we have our tweezers. Now we're wargaming. All right, so if we take a look at this, so fire torpedoes, determine hits. Okay, so now, again, I'm using this, which actually has all the charts and everything already printed on it, but let me show you guys this. That is on the other one. Okay, so by the way, there are a bunch of different charts that are double-sided, so it takes me a second to find which is which. So, looking at this chart right here. Okay. So, first salvo, we're going to take a look at chart U1. So now it says we're going to roll 2d6, and then at medium range, a 7 or less is a hit. However, there are modifiers. Night surface torpedo would lower that. We're not on the surface, we're submerged, okay? We don't have any kind of commendations yet, so no. We don't have a green crew. All generic crew are seriously wounded or KIA, no. Our commandant is seriously wounded, that's me, no. Second salvo torpedo is harder, nope, we're only firing the first. Then the electric torpedoes at medium range or at long range take, because again, they are slower, but we're not. And Commandant and the first warrant officer are seriously wounded. So none of those pertain, okay? Yep, the map is down below in a link. So none of those pertain. So we look at the medium range. We need to roll on a 7 or less is hits. And each torpedo is going to do that. So we're going to roll 4 times for each torpedo, and for each hit, I will leave them on the map itself, and for each miss, I will just remove it, and that's that. So we're gonna switch back now to the 6-sided dice. So again, hitting on 7s or less and no modifier. So we want low numbers. That's 1 hit. That's 2 hits. That's 3 hits. And it's a mystery. That's 4 hits. All 4 hit. That is, I'm worried we're getting all our rolls out of the way. All right, so all 4 hit. Wow, okay, that was strong. Okay, so now we look at this, determine hits. Now, check for duds, okay? Chart U2. So we look at chart U2. This is 1939. These are steam torpedoes, so we're going to roll a 1d6, and a 1 or a 2 is a dud. So that's bad. Now we want to roll high on this, okay? So we're going to roll 3 dice just to be able to save a little bit of time, because I only had 3, I guess. I could get a 4th die. We'll just keep it at this. So 1s and 2s are bad, so 3s are higher, please. So far, 2 of the 4 are duds. 1 is not a dud. And then we will roll 1 more. And that is not a dud. Okay, so what happens now is we're going to go ahead and take 2 of these, which are essentially duds. They're misses. They hit and just bounced off. They didn't explode. So we're just going to remove those from the board. So we have 2 successful hits down here. Okay? All right, so getting back to this. Check for duds, now determine damage, and look at chart U3. Okay, so now we come back to this one. Attack damage chart. We're going to roll 1d6, And torpedo or deck gun, well, obviously a torpedo, and a die roll modifier, you get to subtract 1 on a 105 millimeter deck gun. Psst, that's our deck gun, but we're not firing the deck gun. So as it is, we need a total of 2 damage. And we're going to roll 2 d6s because we have 2 hits, and then lower is better. All right, so we'll roll 2. So we have a 4 and a 3. A 4 or more and a 3 is a total of 3 damage. So if we take a look now at our target, we needed 2 damage. We actually hit 3 damage. It sunk. Awesome. Congratulations, everybody. We have sunk our first tonnage. All right. So the small freighter comes off the board. Our 2 steam hits come off the board. And now we're going to come over to our logbook. What did I do with my pen? There we go. So we come over to the logbook, and we're going to circle it as a successful sink. Hey, 1,800 tons down at Davy Jones's locker. Awesome. Well done. But wait, there's more. The encounter is not over because we killed it, but now it's escorted. So the escort attempts detection. Decide if the U-boat will exceed the test depth or not. Okay? It is not a night surface attack, so we can, if we wish, try to exceed test depth. Now, let's go ahead and talk about this a bit. Okay? Now, there's an escort. Okay? And so Alan makes a fair point. So I thought we should have only fired 2, but had we not fired all 4 torpedoes, 2 were duds, one of which got 2 hits, and the other was a 3rd hit. So it still required actually all 4 to have sunk that ship. So keep that in mind. All right. So if we fired the aft, we might not have sunk it. All right. So there's that. Now, we are going to play with the optional rule of various types of escorts. Now, this is not on this chart, so I'm going to show you guys this. So we're going to roll a 1d6 to determine, because we're in 1939, the type of escort, which is going to determine the number of hits, potentially, that it scores if it detects us. Okay? So we're going to go ahead and roll a 1d6. Lower is better in this case. All right? So we'll roll, and because it's black, that makes sense. And if it's not in there, it doesn't count. It's a 3, and a 3 is just a trained escort, which is what it would have been anyways. Just a standard, regular escort. So we are going to put the trained escort marker here in the escort spot there. Okay? All right. So now, escort detection. Okay, and getting back to exceeding test depth. Now, if we exceed test depth, we need to determine before we roll whether or not we're going to do that. Basically, we get a 1 roll modifier, or a 1 pip modifier on avoiding detection if we exceed test depth. However, exceeding test depth, what's going to happen, and I will show you guys this a bit more in detail over here, is we're going to take hull damage, okay? So hull damage on our map here is shown up here in this track right there. If you get that many, a Type 9 Alpha is sunk, okay? Or if you were on the standard one here, you'll see that we're going to get 1 hull damage right there, and then a Type 9 there is sunk. So it's showing the exact same thing here, okay? So if we exceed test depth, we're going to take 1 of the hull damage and put it onto here. The other piece of information that is really important here is we're automatically going to get a +1 month refit. What does that mean? Well, over on our log sheet, A normal refit will be 2 months, as is, because it's a Type 9. So if we take any hull damage at all, it's going to be 3 months. So it's just that many fewer patrols that we can take. So personally, I don't think it's worth it to go ahead and try and exceed test depth, because that hull damage modifier just doesn't seem worth it for right now. Remind me I said that. Okay, so I say we are not going to exceed test depth. So taking a look here, decide if the U-boat will exceed test depth. Nope, we're not going to. So then roll for detection by escort on chart E2. So we bring this bad boy back and we take a look here at chart E2. We're going to roll 2d6 and we want to roll low. 8 or less is undetected. 9 or 11 is detected, and 12 or more is detected, and they get a +1 die roll modifier for their attack. That's bad. All right? So now let's look at our modifiers. Now we're not going to go through this detailed and this slowly for each and every one of these, but I think it's important to do so for this first time. So we want low numbers rolling 2d6. So we take a look, 41, 42, or 43, it gets progressively worse for U-boats because it got progressively worse for U-boats, but we're in 39. Not wounded, nothing is damaged. It's not a capital ship. It is not a steam torpedo during the day. Aha. So keep that in mind. Remember I mentioned that they leave the telltale steam bubble sign? Well, here's why. Or here's where it penalizes you. They get a +1 on their die. That's bad. We are not previously detected. We are not at close range. And we are not on a night surface attack, but that only pertains in 1941 or later. Okay? It's not a wolf pack, and it's not a convoy. We're not at long range, and we're not exceeding test depth. That's where the benefit would come in. And I am not decorated. The Commandant is not decorated. So therefore, it's an unmodified roll of 8 or less. Please roll low. That is a low roll. Okay, checks out. So the escort did not detect us. We are undetected. Awesome. That is good. So if the U-boat was detected, go to step 10. If never detected, go to step 9. Otherwise, the encounter ends. Undetected and the U-boat's subsequent actions. Okay. If all targets have been sunk, the encounter ends. Stop. All targets have been sunk, the encounter ends. You now move over to the next box. And there we go. Okay? So does that make sense? I see you guys are reminiscing, all you old fogies. All right? All right. So this gets reset to the beginning now. And now we're going to, well, technically not entirely beginning, because now we need to go ahead and get this chart back out because we are in a new encounter box. So we go to the British Isles and we're going to roll 2d12 or 2d6, two 6-sided dice per this chart where I'm pointing at. That looks like a 3, and a 3 is close to a 2, but alas, it is nothing. Hey, Krasimir, welcome. Now, this triangle here does not apply to us. It only applies type 7 alphas are not allowed in that box. This one, you'll see that has the top left corner, has no number on it. And in fact, let me show you guys this a bit more in detail. Okay. So taking a look here, you'll see that in the top left corner is the box that applies to type 9 subs per this map. Not the top right, not the bottom right, and not the bottom left. And the reason that matters is when, again, coming back over here to look at the legend, you'll see here, if it has a number, it will pertain to that type of aircraft or that type of U-boat. So here, a Type 9 Bravo, there is a 2 there, meaning that will actually be 2 boxes. You'll roll for 2 different encounters in that box. individually. It basically just means there's 6 boxes for that. And same here for a Type 9 Charlie. But ours is a Type 9 Alpha. So again, getting back to our map, to our space, we're in the top left, so it's just one regular encounter right there. Okay? Does that make sense? I hope so. Moving on. So again, we're going to now roll based on the British Isle chart there. So let's switch over to there. And that was a 6 again. Can we get off of 6s, please? That would be great. Ship and an escort. Stop me if you've heard this before. All right. So there is going to be a ship and an escort. We have to determine day or night. Come on, night. Looking for 4 through 6. We're at night. Awesome. So that chart stays there. The escort will come off for now. So we're going to be night. We don't know our range yet because we don't know what target we're going to be fighting. So again, now we have to determine the target. Okay. So we're going to look at chart E1. Where to go? Hold on. It's a ship and an escort. We've already done that part. Sorry. So then we're going to determine whether it's a small freighter. I'm looking for the chart on this one. There it is. At the very bottom of this one, determine the size. Again, 1 through 3 is small freighter, 4 through 5 is large freighter, and 6 is a tanker. That's another small freighter. Wah, wah, wah. So we will put the small freighter, that's target number 1. We know that it's going to need 2 damage because it's a small freighter by default, right? So that's what they all are. So then this chart will come into play now. There. And again, rolling that, which is 2 10-sided dice. The black die is the first digit. That looks like number 80 to me. And number 80 is, well, that's a lot better. 4,800 ton Navarino. All right, that's better. Okay. All right, so let's move that out of the way. 4,800, and we will. So this is 4,800 small Navarino. I have terrible penmanship. Should have been a doctor. All right, so that is logged there. We are ready to rock and roll for that. So now we come back. We've determined what it is, recorded the tonnage, and it is not day, so we don't need to worry about changing it. And we have the same option here for range. You saw all the negative modifiers if you were at short range. But you can fire the deck gun because it's at night. Nah, I think we go medium range. And then we do submerged again. Although, a moment on that because if we do night surface, but not at close range. If we do a night surface, it's easier to hit, but we're easier to detect because, are we? Let's see, night surface is only at 41. Yeah, maybe not. Maybe night surface at medium range. Yeah, we can't fire the deck gun, right, I know, because it's escorted. But we could do medium range surface. So that's an option. No, I never was going to fire the deck guns, guys. But I'm just looking at the modifier and looking at the escort detection. It doesn't hurt us at medium range and being on the surface because we're at night. It only hurts us if we're close range. So I think we do surface medium range because it's at night. Any opposing thoughts on that? So we go surface, we go medium range, I think. I'll wait for your guys' opinion real quick. And agree, Alan says, careful the close range because the escort, remember, gets 2 chances to detect you. And we don't want that. So I think surface medium range makes sense. Yeah. And honestly, the only reason you're going to do surface close range is if you can fire the deck guns, which you can only do if it's unescorted, and this one's escorted. So, yeah. Okay, so everyone's in agreement with that, so good. Okay, excellent. So, submerged or night surface. So it's going to be night surface attack, but again, not close range. What torpedoes? Honestly, I think we do just the forward torpedoes again. I did forget one other thing here real quick, guys. Once the encounter ends, they automatically reload, okay? But we have a choice on what we would reload them with. And realistically, and let me look at the duds. This is halfway through our encounter. I think I probably would have done 3 and 1. Would I? No, I would have done 2 and 2. I think realistically. All right. So I think what we'll do is we'll do 2 steam, and we have 10 electrics here. So that would have been 2 and 2 is how I would have reloaded that, not knowing anything. Remind me that we're supposed to do this before at the end of an encounter. All right. So yeah, I think so. All right. So we'll fire just the forward tubes, okay? Just the the first salvo. I don't think we'll do the aft. So we will then assign torpedoes to the ship targets, all right? So, yep, exactly, Kevin. So, again, this will be all 4 of these bad boys are going on to that one target. Oops. There we go. All right. All right, so we've assigned the torpedoes to what targets and then fire torpedoes. So we're going to look at U1 again. U1, night surface torpedo. Yup. So all of them are going to get a -1 modifier on their die roll. That's a good thing. And we're not firing the second salvo. However, you'll notice that the electric torpedoes, that +1, offsets, because it's at medium range, the -1 for the electrics. Okay? So the electrics are going to hit on 7 or less, whereas the steam will hit on 8 or less because of the -1. Hopefully that makes sense. So therefore, we'll just because I have the 2 electrics up first there, we will go ahead and roll the electrics first. So 7s or lower are hits. 2d6 on this, I should say. So 7 or lower, that's 1 hit. That's both hits. Now 8 or lower on each of the steam torpedoes. So 8 or lower, that is a 7. So that's a hit. And that popped out. So that's a 7, all 4 hit. Excellent. All right, now we need to check for duds. So moving over to the dud chart, steams are 1 and 2, electrics are 1 and 3. So these will be for the electrics to begin with. So 4 through 6 they explode. 1 and 1. All right, so that means 1 of the electrics goes away, essentially a miss, and 1 will definitely hit. And then on a 3 or higher are good. And that is a 1 and 1 on that one. So we come back. So 1 steam and 1 electric were duds. However, 1 steam and 1 electric are hits. Okay, so that's all right. So now we look at what damage. So they're both regular torpedoes. It doesn't matter, they're not the deck gun. So here we go. So we want low numbers. And that is a 3 and a 4 respectively. Again, that requires 3, our target required 2 damage, and 1 is 3 damage. The Navarino is no more. So it is sunk. We will take that off. Our torpedoes have done their job. We then come over to our logbook. A moment. There we go. Let's try that. There we go. And we will circle it. Navarino is sunk. Congratulations. Well done. The crew of U-819. Excellent. Now, before I forget, let's go ahead and reload. So, I think we do the last 2 steam, and we do 2 electric. So that leaves us with 6 electric here, and we still have our 4 back here, 2 loaded and 2 reloads, okay? But again, things are not over. So we've determined damage. Now the escorts determine or attempt detection. We are not going to try and exceed test depth, so we're going to roll for detection on the E2 chart. The E2 chart here, so let's see, it's not in 41, so none of those, nothing's damaged. We are not firing steam during the day. We have not been previously detected. We are not at close range. You'll see here it says night surface attack, but in 41 or later. We're in 39, so that doesn't apply. We only fired 1 salvo. We're not at long range. So we need to roll 2d6, 8 or less on this, okay? That's a 4. You guys will have to take my word for it. There we go. That's a 4. So we're good to go. We were not detected. Excellent. If all targets have been sunk, the encounter ends. All right, good job. We move on to the next encounter box. And the next encounter box now, we will come back to the British Isles. Here we go. Let's roll. Every day they see me rolling. That's an 11. An 11 is nothing. Womp womp. One more box to possibly sink some stuff. So let's go. How about some snake eyes? That perfect snake eyes. A 9. Womp womp. Nothing. Thus ends our first official patrol. Sort of. Okay. And I say sort of because now we have transit boxes. We got to go back. Okay. So now we have 2 options here. Okay. We have not been damaged at all. Knock on wood, or just, we haven't been detected. No one saw us. We are wonderful with this. Okay. However, I am looking for, upon completion of the encounter, there. Okay. The resupply at sea is an option here. Okay. So let's go to packet number 21. After conducting encounters in the final on-station travel box for that patrol, okay? So we've done that now. We determine if resupply at sea is even possible, okay? But let's talk about resupplying at sea. What resupplying at sea does, because we have no damage, basically just allows us the opportunity to not have to go through the travel boxes and to just maybe, we run a risk to being detected on the surface, but to reload, or I'm sorry, to get refitted with more torpedoes and stay out at sea longer. I think it's worth a risk. So we're going to try and do that. Okay. So we're going to roll a 1d6, and I will show you guys this part right here. So after doing so, roll a 1d6. We have to roll a 1. If not, due to weather or miscommunication or some other logistical problem, we just go to the next travel box, meaning then we have to actually go back to port. So we have a 1 in 6 chance for that even to be possible. So let's go ahead and try it. I see no reason not to. So let's roll. Looking for a 1. That was close, but nope. So that means we're going to go into the transit box. So the transit box, 2, 3, or 12 are bad. That's an 8, so nothing there. So that's that transit box. And now this transit box to make it back home safely, 2, 3, or 12. Well, it's not going to be a 2 or 3, and it's not going to be a 12, so we have survived. Congratulations on our first patrol, everybody. We have succeeded, we have survived, and we've done so without any damage. So, now we're going to go to the refit step, which is step number 24. All right. So the refit time is adjusted by your rank, but for us, it doesn't matter. So, okay. So let's go ahead and take a look. And I'm curious, actually, if that is on these here. There's damage. No, it's not there. A moment. Just looking on the charts, I don't see anything there. Also, I guess another thing I can show you guys is I have also printed out a after patrol procedure right here, which runs through a lot of the stuff that I'm about to go through in this, but a little bit more concise here. Is a 1 month extended patrol, or P, for a type 9. Okay, so what does that mean? Well, let's take a look at our logbook, okay? So if we come over here, okay? So we are done with September of 39. Now, because it's an extended patrol, because it's a type 9, we're going to write a P there in October. So then November is going to be refit. So we could write just an R, but there we go. So that's the extended patrol and a refit here, okay? So what we're going to do while I'm on this here is add up 4,800 and 1,800. That sure sounds like 6,600 tons sunk. So let's move that. 6,600. And it was a successful patrol because we were not captured. We sank at least one ship on the patrol, so it was a successful patrol. So 6,600 done, but now it's November of 39, and we're doing our refit there, okay? All right. Okay. All right, so plus 1 month for resupply at sea, so no. Plus 1 month for a basic refit, which is what we're going to do. We had no damage. All right. No modifiers, etc., etc. So crew, we don't need to worry about. There were nobody was hurt, nobody was damaged, nothing like that. So don't have to worry about that. For every 3 patrols, successful patrols, we check to see if somebody gets promoted. But that was only 1 patrol, so we don't need to worry about that. Then, each promotion attempt for the Commandant, for yours truly, is every 12 calendar months. We're only 3 months into this. Skip that. Okay, moving on. No awards, because I did not sink a capital ship and there hasn't been that much sunk yet. So then we check for reassignment. Nothing's going to happen there. Then we replenish our torpedo loads and our ammo markers at that point, okay? So let's go ahead and do that. So now we can change our load here if we wanted, as far as what is actually loaded up. So I will go ahead and put those, and then it should be a total of 12. So there's 4 there, 2, and there should be 6 more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And I'm okay with leaving it a mix to go ahead and start out with, okay? I'm cool with that. So now we're done with the refit because that's all there was. So now we are going to, if we take a look at our, here, we're starting the next patrol in December of 39. So again, we need to roll to see, because we are a captain lieutenant, and everyone was telling me it's on a roll of 1, not a roll of 6. So therefore, if we roll a 1, then that means that we get to choose where we're going to go, sort of. But it wasn't, so we don't get to choose. Okay. So let's move that out of there. Are you guys able to follow along? Is this making sense? Got a decent flow? I think. I hope so. So, now, when I said we could choose, I do want to point out the time frame in which we could, that we are, which is currently in December of 39, so it would be from here. When I say choose, if I had rolled a 1, you can only choose from what you're able to do. You can't choose from any of these. It's just that, okay? All right. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Yeah, 22, we're good. I did replenish everything, Kevin. We're good to go. So we're gonna roll 2d6 and see where we're going, since I failed on choosing. And that looks like a 4. Hey, it's a British Isles. Not surprised early on. All right. So we come on over to our logbook and we will put British Isles. Okay, done. Okay, let's get back to our dice. All right. So we know where we're going. So just like before, we now have to roll transits. 2 transit boxes. 2 3s or 12s are all that's bad. That's a 6 and a 7. By the way, had we rolled 12, because this is the first for this patrol, we would have actually had the first ever random event. I've never once gotten a random event in this game. I've never even looked at the chart because I want to be surprised. I don't want to look because it's random. I want to be surprised when it happens. So on a given patrol, meaning the British Isles, if at any point during any of these encounters, so, well, I guess technically it would be for transit or British Isles, the very first time you roll a natural 12, meaning 6 and 6 boxcars, you ignore what's written here and you do a random event. And the random event is that, but you guys don't get to see it because it's going to be a secret for me and you, unless maybe you've played this before and you've gotten a random event. So there we go. I've never seen them. So we succeeded in that transit box. We now move over to that transit box. And anything but a 2, 3, or 12. That's a 7. Transit box. Done. Encounter. Here we go. British Isles. So if we're going to ask for something, I'm looking for a 2 or a 10. Or a 5 or an 8. 2, 5, 8, or 10. Okay? 2, 5, 8, or 10. Here we go. That's a 3. Womp womp. Okay, done. 2, 5, 8, or 10, please. 4. Womp womp. Conserving ammo. Think of it that way. 5. Just a naked old ship. Yep. I don't like its chances. You see this? Combat versus escorted ships. No escort. It's a 5. I.e., as we like to call it, a sitting whack. That's a sitting duck for those scoring at home. All right. So we're going to go to a ship encounter without a escort. But we still go through the first part of this. So we determine day or night, we do all of this stuff, and we find what it is. So day or night first. So hoping still, always, hoping for night. It's day. Okay. So we flip this over to day. Now, if it were day, let me show you guys this. I believe it's written on this one too. A moment. So we're going to follow this chart, okay? So, determine the size of the ship. So again, we're going to roll, a 1d6 here, okay? It's hiding, it's shy. It's a 3. Hey, it's a small freighter. So that will go on to 2 there. Okay, good. All right, so we know what it is. Now we need to determine what it is, specifically the small freighter. And looking for number 34. Wait, no. What one is this one that is a massive one? Hold on, there's one of these that is ridiculous size for a small freighter. I forget what it is. Or is it? No, sorry. It's for a large freighter. It's number 34, the Empress of Britain. 42,300, which is ridiculous, but that one right there. But unfortunately, it's a small freighter. So let's roll 2d10, find out what it is. Black die is first digit. 74. 74 is the Nordal. 5,000. That's as big as it gets. So, okay. That's not bad. So, 5,000. That's good. So we'll write Nordal. 5,000. And a small freighter. Done. All right. So that's done. So we've determined what it is. All right. Hold on. This is bugging me. Give me just 1 second, guys. There we go. Oops. There. Now it won't bug me. All right. Good. All right, so we've determined what it is. So there's no escort present. So we go to 16. So we're going to walk through this chart here together because there's no escort, okay? Day or night, we can attempt, if the attack is during the day or at night with no escort, the U-boat can attempt a surface attack without penalty. Decide if the U-boat will fire its forward torpedoes, aft torpedoes, deck gun at close range. And there's no penalty for a 2-salvo attack because there's no escort. Did I mention it's just the sitting duck? All right. The U-boat can fire up to 2 points of ammo from the deck gun. Oh, and we will. To conduct a 2-salvo attack, the first salvo, we're not going to. You can wait to see the results of the first salvo before deciding on the second salvo. Normally you cannot, but without a escort, you can. So there, 2 points of ammo and the torpedoes there. And then after all of this is done, again, the hits or not, the duds, do the damage, and then that's it. Like, that's it. We don't have to worry about getting shot. So even during the day, so we'll go close range, surface. We're going to fire, excuse me, I got the hiccups. We're going to fire the deck gun. So we're going to hit that, and then we'll fire the forward tube, or forward tubes, as it were. Because we're already halfway through our patrol here. So I think that's worth it. I don't think we need to go crazy. Even though it's a big ship, relatively speaking, I think this is going to be enough. All right. So, turkey shoot time. So we're going to fire the deck gun first. All right. We haven't done that yet. So let's go through this, shall we? Deck gun, same as torpedo. In that regard, however, it's different for the damage stuff. So we'll get there. All right, we are at close range. So it's going to be 8 or less, and then not night. No. No modifiers. So, close range. 8 or less, 2d6. Now, we're allowed 2 shots with the deck gun. Yeah, and Alan brings up, if you don't kill it on the first round, the ship has a chance to call for help. If we can't kill it with 6 shots, we deserve to them to call for help. Okay, so, all right, deck gun. That's a nice thing. There's no duds on a deck gun. All right, so deck gun, we're hitting on 8 or less. 2 shots on it. That's 1 hit. That'd be 2 hits. So we're gonna fire that first. So damage now. So the deck gun, we're gonna roll individual 1d6, and if you notice here, and it's 105 millimeter, so it's -1. It automatically will be sunk, no matter what we roll, because it takes 2 damage from both those hits. Doesn't matter. So that was a 5 and a 4, so, which is really a 4 and a 3. So a 4 and a 3 is 1 damage and 1 damage. Bloop. She's sunk, so the small freighter goes away. So we take a look now at our logbook. The Nordal is sunk. There she goes. Now, we spent our 2 ammo on our deck gun. We didn't fire these, though, so these get reloaded. Correct me if I'm wrong, that technically it's kind of its own salvo, and you're allowed to fire the deck gun first before you fire the torpedoes. Correct me if I'm wrong on that, but I believe so. Yes, and in fact, let me show you guys this. You can wait to see the results of the first salvo before deciding to fire the second salvo, or the results from the deck gun. So, we're good. We didn't even have to fire our torpedoes. And bloop, she gone. Nice. That's the end of that engagement. Okay, good. So we're on to the next one. And the next one says, British Isles. Again, a 2, 5, 8, or 10, please, if you will. That's a 5. Yeah, let's do it again, shall we? All right, day or night. This is a ship, a single ship again. That's a 2, another small freighter. Boy, we are just picking off these small freighters here, guys. So the small freighter will go there. But what small freighter, pray tell, is it going to be? they're hiding. 29. 29 is the Vingaland. 2,700 tons. Okay. $2,700, small, and Vingaland. All right. Hey, it's a free shot, man. Let's do it again, shall we? Oh, you're right. The 2 was technically for day. That's a fair point. But you know what? Now we'll roll for day or night, Christos. So I did that out of order, I guess, technically. So we'll determine day or night now because I already wrote it down and I don't want to mess with it. 4 through 6, it's night. There we go. Oops. It's night. There we go. Okay. So we'll flip this over. We're going to stay at close range, and we're going to stay on the surface because we're going to fire the deck gun again. So we'll do the exact same thing. I'll move those over if need be on the deck gun, but we're going to fire the forward tube, but we get to see what the deck gun, the results of the deck gun are first. So let's go through that. Let me move that out of the way. Hold on one second. And where's the chart? Here we go. There we go. All right. Cool. So the deck gun hitting on 8 or less with 2d6. That's a 6. That's a hit for the first shot on the deck gun. And that's a 9. So only one of them hit. Okay. So no modifiers. So now it's the deck gun. And it is the 105 millimeter. However, so we -1, so we need to roll a 2 or less for not have to fire torpedoes. Okay. That's a 4, which is really a 3, which means it took 1 damage. All right. So let's take a look at this then a little bit more in detail. So the deck gun, both of these were fired. So those are spent, and it took 1 damage. Okay, so now that that's done, now we can see what happens with the deck gun before we determine what we're going to do. So now we have a decision. It's a decent size, it's okay, it's the Vingaland, right? But it's a free shot, meaning we don't have to worry about getting hit back. We're nearing the end of our patrol here. So I think we fire the forward tube. I don't think we need to limit what we fire, and in case for duds and misses and stuff, I think we fire the forward tube. I think that makes the most sense. So we will take all 4 of these. We'll fire the electrics first. All right. All right. Okay, so that said, so we take a look. No modifiers because we are at close range here and nothing else. Oh, check that. Night surface, which it is. So therefore, we do get a -1. So we're going to hit, because we are at close range, we don't get the electric torpedo negative ones here, or positive, which means they're bad for us. So everything is -1, meaning we hit on 9 or less. Okay? So 9 or less. Oh, let me clarify something real quick. If you fire the forward tubes, you fire 4. You don't fire 1 or 2 or 3, or you fire 4. If you fire the aft, you fire 2, to be clear. Okay. So we hit on 9s or less, 2d6. So we'll start with the electrics. 9 or less. That's a 9. Good thing it needed it. So there's 1. Wow, that was terrible. How did I miss that? Nope. That's a 9. So that's 2 hits. Steams. 9, or yes, as it were. And all 4 hit. Okay. So all 4 hit. Now we check for duds. So we'll start with the electrics. 1 die each. Higher is better. 1 is a dud, 1 is not. Okay. So we will remove 1 of the electrics as a miss there, and the other is a hit there. And then on the steam, a 1 or 2 is a miss, so big numbers are good. And both of those are hits. So we have 3 hits with torpedoes and not firing the deck gun. That's already done, so no modifiers. So we're just going to roll 3 d6s. It's obviously going to be enough, all right? A 1, a 6, and a 6. So a 1 is 4 damage. It must have hit some ordnance, I guess, because it blew up sky high. So there's 4, and then 2 more, 6. 6. We only needed 1. Needless to say, the Vingaland is no more. So, wow, that was overkill. All right, done on that. Excellent. So, small freighter comes off. All of our torpedoes are spent there. We need to reload. And to be honest with you, I think because we're going into the last travel box, I think we load up with 4 steam with this one. I'm expecting a convoy. Convoy. So there we go. We're good there. We reset the range. There was no escort. We're good. We're done. Yeah, she split and sank real quick. That was nasty. Hey, Weathered, welcome back. All right. That's the end of that one. We advance here. I just want a 2 or a 10. The end. 2 or a 10. It's hiding. It's not a 2. Hey! We got ourselves a convoy. All right. That's 4 targets, y'all. All right, let's get into it, shall we? So, convoys are always escorted. It is implied. Even though it technically did not say an escort, it's always a escort. So we're going to go to number 11, packet 11. So we're going to determine day or night. We really want night. So big number. That's a 3. That is not night. Okay, we'll come back to that. So it is currently day, which is bad for us. Okay. But now we're going to determine all 4 ships. Okay? Oh, I'm sorry, Rocky, but yay. All right, so all 4 ships. So I'll roll 3 dice. And again, we're looking at small, large, or tankers. Small freighter, large freighter, or tankers. So we want, I would like bigger numbers here. That's a 5, a 1, and a 1. A 5 is a large freighter. A 1 and a 1 is a small freighter. So small freighter, large freighter. And then, come on, 6 for a tanker. And another small freighter. So I'll put all 3 small freighters together here, like that. So we know that that's going to be 2 damage, 2 damage, 2 damage. We don't know for the large freighter yet, because the size of it is what's going to determine whether it's going to take 3 or 4 hits now. Okay, so let's figure that out first. So we'll figure out the 3 small freighters to begin with, all right? Push to night afterwards. So the small freighters, black die is the first one, first number, 95. 95 is the Dayrose, 4,100 pounds. So I'm just going to write these down, take my word for it. 4,100 tons, not pounds. That's a small Dayrose. Okay. Next one is 61. It is the Culebra, 3,000 tons. Another small, all right. Whoa, that was explosive. And that is 23. The Graigwen, okay, 3,700. And now we will do the large freighter. Come on, 34. One time, 34. 51, 57, sorry, 57. Really? That sucked. The Harlingen, 5,400. Harlingen. All right. So I've written down all four of them. So it's 5,400. So it is below 10,000 tons. So therefore, that will require 3 hits total. Okay. All right. Oh, Culebra was a Spanish ship, the Snake. All right. Boo. Yeah, all right. So actually, Alan just laid it out for us, okay? Yeah, it's the same scenario. I'm stubborn, Jonathan, as earlier. So what Alan just said is we have a choice now, okay? If it's day, we have an optional 1d6 to switch to night, okay? If it's a success, or if we roll a 1 through 4, it switches to night. It is a significant advantage for us to switch to night. Otherwise, the encounter ends. What that means is we lose contact with all 4 ships and they just go away. It's as if we had nothing. All right? At the very end, the second encounter for the aircraft, Merrick, didn't actually happen. So reading comprehension. All right. So here's how it lays out. We have steam torpedoes. If it's daytime, it's easier for them to detect us because we're going to fire steam. However, if it's night, those don't come into play. Plus, if it's night, it's just safer for us. So I'll put it, first one to answer 3 things, or the first to get 3 answers. Push for night or day. Keep it at day. I have my opinions. So Christos is saying not much tonnage, so push for night. Not worth attacking at day. I agree, but I will go with what the peanut gallery says. All right. First 3, all said, push for night. I agree for what it's worth. Alan says maybe a long-range day attack, but the majority say night. Okay. Chip, I want the stream to go longer, so less risk, go night. All right, so we're going to push for night. Okay. So we need to roll a 1 through 4, and we'll use the black die. And we failed. We lost contact. Boo. So the encounter ends. That sucks. Okay. I say we try and resupply at sea. So we need to roll a six-sided die, 1 through 6. A 1 is a successful, it's possible. Hey, it's possible. All right, so let's go through this now. The refit or resupply at C is number 21. I've never actually successfully done this. All right, so it is possible. If resupply at sea is possible, the U-boat immediately rolls on the Bay of Biscay table, or E1, so we will break that out. We roll on this chart here to reflect the added risk and exposure of being surfaced to transfer stores, roll 2d6. That's bad. Everything else is good. But again, if we roll a 12, there will be a random encounter or a random event. All right, so let's see. If we encounter an aircraft, bad things happen and we cannot resupply. All right? All right, so we're going to roll 2d6 and we want a 5 or higher. And there's a 7, so nothing. Good. All right, if no encounter occurs, proceed with the resupply at sea. This is the first time I've been able to successfully do this. So right here, okay? So fuel resupply. Place the U-boat back in the first on-station travel box for that patrol. The first travel box, so in other words, into the black box. Okay, so we will do that. So it actually resets back to there. That's good. Okay, nice. Next. Next. The gun deck ammo, add, but not over the initial load amount. So we actually reload our deck guns. Awesome. So let's go ahead and go the center one. Yeah. So we will go there and we will reload. So we had 1 ammo left. We get 4 more for a total of 5 ammo there. Okay, excellent. And now, torpedo resupply. So let's take a look at this. Roll 1d6. We want a 4 through 6. Okay? So, 4 through 6. Let's hope. All right. There we go. Big number. And it's a 2. All right, so what's a 2 say? What 2 say? Receive up to 1 D6 roll of electric torpedoes. Okay. Okay, so we're getting electrics. It's electric. Yeah, I know. 1. Well, that sucked. Wow. Jeez. That was a crappy resupply for 1 electric torpedo and 4 things of ammo for the deck gun. Seriously? So just FYI, what we didn't get are 2 steam and 1 electric, what we had spent previously. So now the question is, do we want to change our loadout here? Since we have so many steam or so many electric, I think we do. I think we go 2 and 2. And you know what? I don't know the answer to this. Can we switch while in port or a resupply like this? I imagine we could switch these as well. So you know what? I'm going to take 2 electrics. Take these 2 steams. There we go. That's all of our, there we go. All right. All right, if resupply occurs, add 1 month to the refit period for that patrol, which actually represents additional time at sea. Denote this by writing a P down in the first month following the patrol. Okay, so add 1 month to the refit period. So I would think that it's just a 1 on the refit, right? I think. And it's still technically the same patrol, right? Again, this is the first time that I've actually successfully resupplied at sea. So let me actually look this up. So give me a moment on that, okay? I think that's 7.5 maybe? Nah, it's got to be further back than that. Okay. Refit. Hold on, let me get these spectacles out for this one. Maybe I'm wrong. Hold on. I honest to God don't know where this is in the rule book. I'm sorry, guys. Well, it did have a good flow. I wish it gave the references in the rule book for the resupply at sea. If anybody knows it, feel free to chime in. Da, da, da. Oh, come on, where is it? Ah, here we go. 14.9. Let me see. To conduct resupply, right? Done. Da, 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 da. Okay, done. Okay. Okay, if resupply occurs, 1 month is added to the refit period for that patrol, which actually represents additional time at sea. Denote this by writing a P down in the first month following that patrol. So from what I'm gathering is it's just, I will get 2 Ps added for this when I make it back into port. All right, so what that means is going back, I think this is right. I'm not swearing to this because the way that's written isn't super, super clear. Is, okay, so those got away, but This patrol is actually, I'm going to write a P on this one. It's an additional month for the patrol. And if I make it back into port, it will be another P, and then this would be the refit right there, is how I'm reading this. So if that's the case, I'm actually going to write it on that row so I have room for the name, because it's going to add an additional P to the 1P that I would already get because of the extended, because it's the Type 9 U-boat. So we're going to go back onto patrol in the British Isles. It's the same thing, but we're actually in the regular patrol box now. So we're in the first patrol box there. All right, that's how I read the rules on that. Hopefully that was relatively clear. I've never done that, so my apologies. So what's going to happen now is we skip the transit, and we're going to go to British Isles straight here, and we do that 5 times, right? Just like we did as if we just got on target. So here we go. Okay, so we're going to roll 2d6 to start out here. And we're looking at a 7, and a 7, nothing. So that advances to there. And we roll again. 4, nothing. Can we get snake eyes or a 12? Random event would be exciting. 8. Oh, we got just a naked ship. All right. Hey, I'll take it. All right. So we just have a regular ship. So we're going to roll for day or night first. So you know what? Let's go here. So day or night. Big number. It's day, but in the end, we know that's not a big deal. Let's find out what ship it's going to be. So we will roll 1 through 6. The bigger number, better for a bigger ship. It's a 4. A 4 is going to be a large freighter. These should have gone away. So a large freighter. We do not know the size of said large freighter. It's going to be determined by what ship we roll. So here we go. 34. Come on, 34. Or 60. Oh, that's a nice one. Woo! Vancouver Island. 9,500 tons. Okay, that'll do, pig. Oh, that'll do. All right. We're not going to bother switching to night because it's just a regular ship. So we will go short range. And we will go surface. And we will fire the deck gun. Oh, by the way, it is less than 10,000 tons. So large freighter there. We'll go 3 hits it requires. All right. So that'll do. So we will fire the deck gun to begin with, and then we'll make a determination. I guess technically it would go there. Make a determination as to what we're going to do at that point. So firing the deck gun. Now, keep in mind, we are in February of 1940 now. Okay. So we're at close range. 8 or less. No. Nothing. So 8 or less twice with 2d6. That's a 9. First one missed. We need an 8 or less. There we go. That's a hit with the deck gun. So we come down here for the deck gun. It is 105 millimeters, so -1. So we're not going to be able to sink it right now because it requires 3 hits, but a lower number, a 1 or a 2 would be great. And that's a 1. That'll work. So the 1, which is actually a 0 because -1 on the modifier, that's 2 damage. 2 damage says 1, 2. We only need one more damage, and that deck gun fired there. All right, so now, with the 2 damage, only needing 1, what do we fire? Do we fire the forward? It's a big ship, 9,500 tons. Or do we go a little bit more conservative because we're only halfway through this part of the patrol here? I'll leave it up to you guys while I get a drink. So, fore or aft? Yes. And remember, we always can fire the forward ones afterwards if it doesn't succeed. So, yeah, I agree. I think we fire the aft ones. So, the 2 steam will come over there, okay? So, getting back now to our chart, okay? Do you, I will look that up real quick. I'm looking. Give me a moment. $16. No, you fire both salvos before doing anything else. Then, afterwards, if there's an additional round of combat after the second salvo, meaning forward and aft, then determine whether or not an escort or an aircraft comes in to help. Okay? So. Okay, thanks, Adam, for that. All right. So I think we fired the afts, like we said. Okay, so we are going to look here. So let's see, we're at day, we're at close range, so nothing else. So straight up 8 or less here. Okay. No, this is not a second round of combat. This is still the first round of combat, even if there's technically 3 salvos, kind of, in a sense that it's the deck gun first, then forward or aft, which would be the second, and then forward or aft, whichever one it wasn't, would technically be the third. Then if it survives, then it would check for escort or aircraft, okay? So that said, 8 or less on all of them, and there's 2, so we're gonna roll 2d6 for each of these, needing 8 or less. Oops, that was technically a 2, but either way, so there we go, that's 1 hit, and, uh-oh, we need a 1 or a 2 on that. Hey, 2 hits, awesome. So now we need to check for duds. These are both steam, so it's going to be 1s and 2s are bad, so let's go high. All right, 1 and 1. So 1 of the steam come off. So there's 1 hit here. And the damage, again, right here, no modifier, just on a, it's automatically going to be sunk. That's a 4, so that's 1 damage. And 1 damage is enough to sink her. There she goes. So that's gone. The large freighter comes off. Good deal. Come on over to the logbook, and there she goes. 9,500 for the Vancouver Island. Woo! Nice. All right. So now we need to reload the aft, which literally this is all our only choice right there are those. So there we go. And we advance to the next box. Because again, no escort. We are getting awfully lucky with that. So let's keep that rolling. Coming back. Here we go. So we are in the penultimate of this patrol here. So again, capital ship would be awesome. I've never had one, ever. So could we do that? Looking for snake eyes. Oh, oh, dramatic. There's one. I don't know. I can't see it. It's hiding. Ah, it was so close. It's a 3. Nothing. Damn. All right. Last one. Oh, we got us a convoy. Here we go again. All right. So we start day or night. Come on, night. We need a 4, 5, or 6. Damn it. Day. Yeah. All right. Let's determine what the ships are. Damn it. Looking for big numbers. A 2, a 3, and a 6 so far is a small, and a large. And we'll roll one more. And 3 small and a large. So 3 small and a large freighter. All right. So let's see what they are. Okay. We will get that one. We'll roll all 3 small freighters. So it looks like 92 to me. The Bancrest is 4,400. Okay. Then 25. The Scoresby, 3,800. Yeah. $48. Cape Rodney, 4,500. And come on, 34. Come on, 34. 96. Yeah. The Triglav, 6,400. Yeah. Oh, that's a large. Sorry. All right. Okay, so that's where we're at. Now we have the same decisions here, okay? For do we switch tonight and potentially lose the convoy? So what I want to look at this is for the escorts, what I'm looking at here is a steam torpedo during the day adds 1 to the detection. And if we fire both salvos, forward and aft, that's another +1. I really hate the idea of attacking a convoy at day. Wait, 6. Oh, it was a tanker, wasn't it? Oh. I stand corrected. Hold on. My bad. And that was what, 96? Sorry. Yep, it was 96. So let's flip her over. My bad. Well, that's That's a whole lot better. The Astral is 11.9. Okay, my bad, my bad. Good catch. Well, that got a whole lot better. All right. My bad. All right. Good catch, everybody. My bad. My bad. All right. So Merrick brings up a good point that we could shoot full salvo of steam from long range if there's a good target, which there is, and hope to hurt it and then auto follow. That actually makes a fair point. So small freighters are going to be at 2. And then the tanker is going to be over 10,000, so she's going to need 4 hits on that. All right. So that's a really big target. That is the biggest ship that we have encountered so far. I do want to engage it. Now I don't want to risk going to night. So I think we do go long range. However, keep in mind, 4 of them are going to be electric. That's the only thing. We just need to damage it once, though. We just need to do something to be able to follow. All right? So let's go ahead and roll through the steps here for all of this. Get this ready. All right. Select the range. We're going to go long range because it's daytime and it's escorted. Okay? So we've selected long range, so not short range. So submerged or night surface. And let me check that 952 a moment. Oh, okay. Oops, come on. There we go. Okay, the U-boat cannot fire forward and aft torpedoes in the same round during a day attack with escorts present. So I guess we're just going to fire the forward here, okay? So we're just going to fire 1 salvo in that case, because otherwise it would be a second round, and I don't want to do that because it's day. So okay, a moment. So it's going to be submerged at long range. And we're going to fire, long range, submerged. And we're going to fire just the forward salvo, and all of them are going to go after the Astral. All right. So we're going to fire the first salvo. Let me show you guys this. All right, select range. There, assign torpedoes, done. So determine hits. Here we go. All right, we're at long range. 6 or less, not night. And the electrics are at long range +2. So in other words, I'm only going to hit on 4s or less with the electrics. Okay? Here we go. So 2 electrics, 4 or less. Come on. Nope. Nope. All right, both of the electrics miss. So now we're firing 6 or less. We got 2 shots at it. We need one of them. And it can't be a dud. So let's hope they both hit. 6 or less. Come on. Nope. Nope. Swing and a miss. All 4 missed. We are not accurate at long range. So those go away. All right. So, determine damage. None. Okay. Now, escorts attempt detection. Now, decide if we're going to exceed test depth. Okay, because now, let's take a look at what this would be. Okay. Now, it was 6 or less on the steam, 4 or less on the, unless I'm wrong on that, right? No, it was 6 or less on the steam, 4 or less on the electrics. Okay. Okay, cool. He fixed that. All right. So let's look at the escort detection. 8 or less is undetected, okay? However, and we're in 1940 now, so none of that, but let's see. We did use steam during the day, so +1. We're not at close range. We didn't fire both salvos. We're at long range, so that offsets the day. And then, so 8 or less here. I don't know that we need to crash dive. I don't think so, because I don't want to add the extra month into the refit. I don't think we need to. I'm willing to roll the risk, or run the risk. It's my ship. I will take full responsibility. We need to roll 2d6, 8 or less. Boy. That's a 7. It's never in doubt. Never in doubt. So we avoid detection. All right. So now, if all targets have been sunk, the encounter ends. All right, take care, Weathered. If any targets were damaged, the U-boat may automatically follow for additional rounds of combat. If no targets were damaged, which is where we were because we couldn't hit the south side of a northbound mule, if encounter was a ship or a convoy, the U-boat may attempt to follow. If so, if a success, then go back to step 1 and start the whole thing over again. Otherwise, it ends. If it was, okay, so yeah, let's try and roll, or let's try and follow. So we successfully follow and restart this on a roll of 1 to 4. Come on, 1 to 4. And obviously we will be able to reload. Hey, we followed. All right. So we start the encounter over. Okay, but obviously the only thing that doesn't change is we know what ships they are. Okay? All right. So now determine day or night. Come on. Can we please get a night? Please? Really? I missed the entire, that was impressive. No, the answer is no, we cannot get a night. Golly. Oh, technically we should have reloaded here. So this is the last encounter. We're going to go steam on all of these. So would have reloaded with all 4 of those. Submerged, we'll do long range again. We'll do everything the same. But odds are we're probably going to be able to hit it this time. Okay? You would think. All right. Oh, and that one went away as well. All right. So we're all the way down to fire torpedoes because we've determined everything else. Okay? Well, do we push for night? That's fair. Let's see. Then we could go surface, potentially. And if we do, let's see, what would it be? You know what? What the hell? Let's do it. Let's push for night. I agree, because... But if we hit... Hold on. If we hit, then we can just follow it by itself, right? No, I'm going to push for night. Yeah, I agree with that. So let's push for night. So on a 1 to 4, it turns to night. That's a 4. It's now night. All right. So now, well, hold on. What do we do? Do we do surface, medium range? A moment. You know what? Actually, I need to look something up when we do that. No, I believe we can do surface. We just can't fire the deck gun. Am I correct in that? Let me take a look. Give me a second. What I'm doing is I'm reading 9.5 right now in the second edition rulebook, so give me just a second. If we fire the second salvo, which we can do, and we can do a night surface attack, we just cannot use the deck guns, we get a +1 modifier, not in our favor, for escort detection. And you cannot exceed test depth, because in theory, you're too close to the surface to have been able to do so. So therefore, you're still too close to the surface. So... Yes, Mer, this is. So we can do night surface, but if we do a night surface, take a look at this. It will be, if we fire both salvos, it'll be a +1. So a 7 or less is what we get detected on. I'm willing to take that risk. So we're going to fire both salvos. And it's hard, and we're going to do it at medium range on surface. So, medium range, surface at night, and we're going to fire fore and aft. So we're going to fire all 4 steam, I think. Hold on. You know what? Is it worth firing both salvos? No. I'm not going to bother. We're just going to fire those 4, actually, at the Astral and call it good. That's it. We're not going to fire the second salvo. Plus, they're electric. Yeah, no, we're not going to. All right. So here we go. So, selected range. We're not at short range. We're surface. We've already assigned. Now we're going to determine hits. Here we go. Medium range, night surface gets a -1, and they're all steam. So we're going to hit on 8 or less, and we have 4 of them on 2d6. 8 or less. 1 miss. There's 1 hit. 2 misses. and 2 hits. Okay. So 2 of those bad boys go away. But 2 hit. So now we need at least one of them to not be a dud. Hopefully both. Roll 3 or higher, please. Oh, 1 and 1. I'll take it. So 1 allows for a hit. So we're going to roll a 1d6, and it sinks it on a 1. Ah! We got 3 of them, though. Kaboom. So 1, 2, 3, and that's damage. So I'm just going to put one of the torpedoes there to show that it was damaged. All right. I'm okay with that. All right. So now they get to detect. So escort detection, we cannot exceed test step because we were on the surface, so we have to roll for the escort detection. So we're not any of those years. We're not at day. We're not at close range. We're not in 41 or later. We didn't fire both, and we're not at long range. So 8 or less and we're safe. That's 7. We avoid detection. Once again, if undetected, if any targets were damaged, the U-boat may automatically follow for additional rounds of combat. If following, determine if the targets are still escorted. Roll a 1d6, a 5 or 6, and it's a sit and duck. Okay? So we want a 5 or a 6 now. Nope. Hey! Unescorted. If unescorted, decided which straggler damaged ship will be targeted in subsequent round of combat and go to step 1. And now it's just a sit and duck. And it only needs 1 hit. We'll go after the Astral. All right. Now we reload, remember? So we're going to reload 2 and 2 there. Okay. We only need 1 hit. We're going to fire those potentially and the deck gun. But first things first, we have to determine whether or not day or night. We go back to step 1. So day or night. It's night. So it's night. Close range. On surface, since it's unescorted, we're going to fire the deck gun. Close range, 8 or less. And nothing else, no modifiers, so just straight up 8 or less, 2 shots at it. Okay? There's 1 hit and 1 miss, but the 1 hit's going to be enough because the deck gun at a -1 is a 2, which is 1 damage. 1 damage says, bloop, gone. So that was our marker. The ammo, the deck gun got expended, and these guys never got expended. So therefore, they will get back into the tube, and the Astral is down at Davy Jones's locker. These small freighters will come off. They escaped. I'm okay with that. And then we come over to the logbook, and the Astral gets circled. Woohoo! All right. So now, we still have no damage. We're going to go back to port at this point because I want a full complement of torpedoes at this point. So we will have to transit back now. We are not out of the woods yet, y'all. So, here we go. 2 rolls of this, 2, 3, or 12. Everything else is okay. That's a 7, and that's a 5. We made it back to port. Hell yeah. Nice. All right. So now let's determine our refit, shall we? So we already marked the second one there, and then this is going to be a refit month. There. So now, that was the first patrol. The second patrol, let's see, we got 5,000. That's 77. I might have to use a calculator for this because math. 7,700, those, plus 11,900, plus 9,500. 29,100. And that was successful. So we are that plus 6,600. We are currently at that. We need to get to 150. That was a hell of a patrol, though. Well done, y'all. Well done. All right. $35,700. I'm just going to write that over here. There we go. All right. So now we have no damage. We have nothing else. That's only our second patrol. So no updates, no promotions, no nothing. Okay. So we're just going to basically restock. So everything I've kept it off in an organized way over here. So we will just add those. We'll go ahead, move the electrics back there, put 2 steam there. I'm okay keeping it 2 and 2. So it should be a total of 12 steam. 2, 4, should be 8 more. Yep. And then it should be 10 electrics. 2, 4, 6, 7, and 10. There we go. Wow. Okay. Awesome. So now if we look again, excuse me, at the logbook, we're going to actually be starting now in April of 1940. Okay. So April of 1940 is going to be now this group. I've never made it this far. I have sunk every time. So, yay. Not yay that I've sunk, but yay that I made it this far. So let's keep it going. All right. So I can again roll or choose on a roll of 1. So, nope. All right. So we're going to roll 2d6. Here we go. 9. 9. Oh. Shocked. British Isles again. All right. All right. Okay, so that's done. 2 transit boxes, just like normal. Give me just a second. What I'm looking for is when do we actually do the Bay of Biscay? That's the only thing I'm checking real quick for the transit box. Does anybody, let me see. You know what? I know what I can do. Hold on. Save a little time. Because, again, I haven't made it this far. This is kind of exciting for me. Beginning July 1940. There we go. Okay. July of 1940. I'm going to put a little star next to, or B of B. Okay. There we go. No worries. And now we got that fixed, or got that figured out. Cool. All right. Oh, after the fall of yeah, that makes sense, since technically the Bay of Biscay is right here, but not until July of 40. So there we go. Yeah. All right. Cool. All right. So 2 transit boxes. So 2, 3, 12. I forget. Did I roll once already? I think I did. And then I will roll again here. 2, 3, or 12 is all that matters. Nope. All right. Into next patrol. Come on, snake eyes. Hey! First capital ship. Woohoo! All right. Hot damn. Told you redemption week. Wasn't kidding, y'all. I assume capital ships are escorted. I assume. Yeah, they are escorted. All right. All right, day or night. Here we go. Come on, night. That's like sunrise. All right, let's determine what she's going to be. Whew, I'm excited. I hope you guys are. Here we go. So, capital ship. Roll a D10. Here we go. An 8. 8 is the CV Eagle. Not horrible, 22,600, but unfortunately, that would have been awesome. So, CV Eagle, 22,600. Okay. Yep, exactly. Just got to hit it a little and we can follow. Exactly. All right. So, do we do long range? I don't know. What do we do? Oh, we actually, hold on. we got to put the capital or the eagle out here. It takes 5 to sinker. So we're not going to obviously be surface. It's going to be submerged. We're going to fall or shoot the forward ones. Long range or medium range? That's the question. Because if we do medium range, let's see. Boy, that's a big difference. We're going to do... we're going to do medium range. But submerged. We're not suicidal, okay? All right. So medium range. So here we go. Medium range, 7 or less. Let's see. None. Not doing a second salvo. All right. Medium range is +1. All right. So that means on a 6 or less for the electrics. And there are 2 electrics. It's kind of what I'm thinking, Merrick, is medium and then crash. Exactly. So here, so it's going to be on a 6 or less for the 2 electrics. We'll roll the electrics first, rolling 2d6. Missed, unfortunately, because the -1. And hit. Okay, there's 1. So 1 electric gets removed. Then on the steam are 7 or less. That's a big, big miss. And another miss. But now, ay vey, really? You would have thought I would have gotten 1 more of those. So the electric. But now the electric has a 50-50 shot of being a dud. Hold on. Okay, because we are in April of 1940. So on a 1 to 3, okay. Come on, big number. Damn it! It's a dud. Glory to Rome. Damn it. So, everything missed, essentially. All right, so escort detection now. As you can see here, escort. There we go. So, do we exceed test depth? Oh, we can't. We are submerged. We could, but I want a chance to follow this. I'm not going to crash dive. So let's see. So 8 or less. There's no other. Yeah, 8 or less. No modifier. All right, come on. There we go. Undetected. If no targets were damaged, if the encounter was a ship or a convoy, if it was a capital ship, or if following is not desired or fails, encounter ends. Womp womp. We got a shot. We had 4 shots at the damn carrier, the Eagle. God, and it just, damn it. Eagle damn sure didn't land. And the Eagle comes off. Gah. We're going to load all 4 steam. Ironically, it was the electric that actually hit. Because it's going to be dead, or it was tech. Hold on. Wait a minute. I rolled a 4, so it didn't matter. I realized, hold on, that it was day. So it would have been +1. So it actually was a 7 or less, but I actually rolled a 4, so we're okay. Yep, there you go. Michael nailed it. But it was safe either way, so. God, man, that took the wind out of my sails. Or the water out of my ballast. Damn it. Grr. All right. Got that out of our system. Here we go. Next box. 7. Nothing. All right, let's pick ourselves up. Come on. Let's go. You know what? Let's go find it again, damn it. Snake eyes. 8. Okay. We're going to take out all of our aggression on that lonely, woeful, naked little ship by itself. So here we go. Day or night? Night. Here, let me just go ahead and get this ready. Okay. So now, what type of ship is it? That is a large freighter. Okay. Here comes 34 to make up for it. Black die is the first digit. Ooh. Ooh. Come on. 94. Thomas McKean, 7,200 tons. So it's going to be under 10,000. So Thomas McKean, I'll just say the TM. And this is 7,200. I think my guys just got nervous on that. Agreed, Michael. There you go. All right. So, hey, and it's unprotected. So, let's get to it, shall we? All right, we're gonna fire the deck gun. And the entire forward and aft if need be. And we need 3 hits on it. But the deck gun is going to go first. Close range surface, obviously, at night. So close range for the deck gun. Let's see, night surface, torpedo, no. Nothing. So 8 or less on this one. That's a 9. That's 1 miss. Wow. There's 1 hit. Okay, then -1 on the deck gun for the 1 hit. So that's going to be a 4, which is 1 damage. So the 1 damage will go to there, and the deck gun is now spent. So now we're going to fire the 4 steam from the forward tubes. And these are steam. They are night surface, so -1. So they're going to hit on 9s or less. And nothing else. There's 1. There's 2. There's 3. There's 4 hits. So now we check here. We're still in April of 40, so a 1 to 2 are duds. So all 4. One of them's a dud so far, and only 1's a dud. So 3 of them are going to hit. No other modifiers here. So 3 of them. 1, 1, and a 4. 8, 9 damage. So, 9 damage. We needed 2. I'd say she sunk. So she goes away. All of the steam ones were spent. The TM is at the bottom of the sea. Okay. We need to reload. We're going to move into that. So let's see. The range comes off. We'll do 2 and 2, I think now. Oh, it definitely dented it, but man, that was frustrating. Grr. All right, so we advanced already, so we are now back into British Isle here. Rolling 2d6. Snake Eyes. Or a Convoy. That'll work. All right. So, day or night? Let's just go ahead and call it night. Let's. All right, so we got night. That's good. Now let's figure out what ships we got. So, 4 of them. Oh, my. Oh, my. That's 3 tankers and a small freighter. Okay. Wow. Okay. Let's figure out what we got, shall we? Check out the small freighter first. $20. The Grow. 4,200 tons. And now 3 tankers. Just looking for some big numbers. Here we go. $26. That is not Brea. Tar Pit. 6,700 on that one. Next one. $99. The Winamac, 8,600. And the 29. Oh, God. Sarita, 5,800. Really? Man. Those are some kind of crappy tankers, man. Not one of them over 10,000. Yeah. Well, all right. At least it's night, right? Night surface medium? What do y'all think? That's what I'm leaning towards. What do y'all think? Open for your opinions, though. We can't crash dive, but we get additional hits for the tankers, or additional for being on night surface. That's my thinking. And we're coming towards the end of the patrol. We only have one more patrol box. That's what I'm thinking. So let's do it. So night surface medium. So we're going to assign the torpedoes now. A moment. I want to make sure for... There we go. So we can fire both salvos, but if we do, it's a +1 modifier. Okay, so keep that in mind. And I don't believe you can. Let me see if you can determine. Yeah, you can't wait to see the results of the first salvo before firing the second one, though, because of the escorts. So let's see, the biggest one, so all three of these are at 3 damage. So let's see here. If we go, so night surface at medium range, that would be 8 or 7. You know what? +1. Yeah, we're gonna. I'm gonna get a little reckless on this. So we're gonna go first salvo all on the biggest target. And we are going to go a second salvo on the Brea, which is going to be there. There we go. And if we do that, we could crash dive maybe we don't do surface. No, not going to crash dive. No, we're going to stay on the surface. We're going to do it. There we go. Let's go ballsy a little bit. So here we go. So the first one, the Winamac, we're going to go after. We will fire the electrics first. At medium range is +1. Sorry. It's +1 with a -1 for the electrics. So it's just straight up 7 or less for both of those. There's 1 hit on an electric and 2 hits. Both of the electrics hit. Then we do the 2 steam. The 2 steam are going to be on 8s or less because they don't have the penalty there. They just get the benefit. So 8 or less for the 2 steam ones. Hit. And miss. So one of the steam misses. So we'll drop that one out. Okay. So now we check for duds. We'll do the 2 electrics first on 1 through 3. And the steam. The steam is 1 through 2, and the steam will be the black die. Let's see. Both of the electrics are duds, and the steam hits at least. Oh my God, come on. So now, the steam, we need 3 hits. So in a perfect world, a 1 or a 2. That's a 5. That's 1 damage on the Winamac. So both of the electrics were duds, and that actually got a hit, so that moves up to there. All right, so now we will go after the Brea, 6,700 tons, with the 2 steam. So here, it's a second salvo torpedo, only possible as a night surface or unescorted surface attack. Ignore the modifier. So here we go. So it is possible. So it's night surface, but it's a second salvo, so no modifiers. So it's going to be a 7 or less. Take care, Jonathan. 2 of them. That's a miss and a hit. Okay. So 1 of the steam hit. Now a 3 or higher and it explodes. It explodes. So now, in a perfect world, it sinks on a 1 or a 2. 4 is going to be 1 damage. So there, those 2 were damaged. All right. So now, escort detection time. So 8 or less as a base. No. Not day, not previously detected, not at close range, not in 41. Fired both, so +1, the end. So 7 or less, and we're safe. Six. Boom, safe. If any targets were damaged, may automatically follow for an additional round of combat. If following, determine if the targets are still escorted. So, unescorted on a 5 or a 6. Nope, they're still escorted. If escorted, damaged ships stay together and return. Here we go again. So, the damaged ships stay together. So, as I understand that, this small freighter and this tanker go away. And it's just those 2. We reload there and there and there and there. All right. Day or night? Day. I think we do medium range submerged, and we just fire these. And we're going to fire all 4 on the Winamac. Or do we? Let's see. I don't know. Do we do all 4? Or do we do the second salvo here and fire those at the other one as well? Or do we try and switch it to night? You know what? Hold on. Let's try and switch it to night. 1 to 4. There we go. We're at night. So now we will do this. Yep. No, there was no, firing a second salvo, you are allowed to. I don't think so, Metal. Double check. Yeah, no, yeah, no. All right. So here we go. So we're going to fire night surface, medium range, 7 or less, but night surface is going to be -1, so that's 8 or less. We'll do the electrics first, which, because they're at medium range, it now drops it back to no modifier. So, and it's the first salvo, and it's only possible as a night surface attack or unescorted surface attack. So it's night surface, so we're good. So it's just going to be 7 or less for the 2 electrics. There's 1 hit. 2 hits, both electrics. Fish in the water, both hit. Then we will do the 2 steam. The 2 steam get a +1 for the night surface, so 8 or less. Hit. And hit because of the modifier. All right, so all 4 hit. So now these 2 will be for the steam. 4s are higher and they explode. I'm sorry, electric. 1 of each. So 1 electric is a dud, goes away. 1 hits. And then the 2 steam, 3 or higher, they explode. Both of them explode. There we go. So I think I disagree, Metal. Check out 9.5. So, and actually right here, the second salvo, only possible as a night surface attack or unescorted surface attack. So either of those. So, all right. So we have 2 steam and 1 electric kabooms. So here we go. We'll roll all 3. 2, 4, and 5. 2 is 3. 4 and 5 is 1 each. That's 5 kabooms. It needed 2. The Winamac has gone under. So now those go away. And that goes away. And now we're going to try and go after the Brea. So, to be clear, so since this is going for our second salvo again, here, 9.5, night surface attack. If the encounter is at night, the player can conduct a night surface attack, although this allows for slightly better torpedo calculations due to the use of the UZO. However, likelihood of escort detection increases, reflecting the increasing allied availability of surface radar. During the first round only, a night surface attack also suffers a negative modifier, right? You can't exceed test depth. U-boats conducting a night surface attack may fire an immediate second salvo from the other end of the U-boat as part of their initial firing action. However, there is a negative modifier, while also increasing the likelihood of being detected if escorts are present. To conduct the second salvo, da-da-da-da-da. So there we go. So that pretty much clears that up. So, all right. So here we go. So second salvo. These are night surface electrics. So -1 at medium range, +1. So it's going to be 7 or less on the electrics. That's 1 hit. And that's 2 hits. Oh, you guys can't see that. I don't know. How did that happen? Hold on. There we go. Both of them, at least, are denting it. All right? All right. So, both hit. They're both electric. So, we're going to roll. We need big numbers. One goes kaboom, one goes dent. Okay? So the one that goes kaboom, we need 2 damage. So it's got to be a 3 or less. Sunker! 2 damage. Two damage. Got it. Made it worth it. We have 2 bogeys left on the entire ship. But, got it. Take care, Kevin. All right, well, if we're going to take the risk, sink it, right? All right, so now, escort detection. 8 or less. We're at night, not previously detected, not at close range, night surface, but in 41. So, it is... This is an additional round of combat. So I would argue that we don't get the +1 on this. We're not exceed... So, 8 or less... Right? Although it is a new combat, so I guess we do get the +1. It's a new, after following, so it is. So it's +1. And because we because we fired both salvos. No, that's it. Yeah, that's it. So 7 or less. Okay? Uh-oh. That's an 11. We're detected. I mean, it wasn't going to go the whole game, right? All right, so we're detected. So now that we are detected, a moment. We need to determine the type of escort, the quality of it. So low is good. So we'll roll a 1d6. That's a 1. So that's an escort, a green escort. So the green escort will come out. I don't actually have the green escort marker. So I'm just going to put that as literally a green marker on there. Okay? All right. Well, it's still, I failed on it, but I did. Oh, okay. Well, so the +1 I wouldn't get because it goes into the second round, right? Is it? Okay, so it is 12. So it's detected at a +1 attack, but here's the good news. +1 attack, never mind. So there's going to be 2 attacks. This could be bad. All right, so we're going to roll. But the good news is it's 1 less hit because it's a green escort, okay? I forgot the +1. You're right. All right. So a 6 or lower, and it actually doesn't hit us on the first one. And on the second one, technically. So we need a 6 or less with 2d6. That's bad. That's an 11. An 11 is 4 hits. It's actually 3 hits because it's a green escort. So that's 3 hits coming in. 1, 2, 3 hits there. Okay? But now, +1 attack. Die roll modifier. Sorry. Check that. That's actually 4 hits. Let's try this again. It's a 12, which is 5 hits, which is actually 4 hits. Oh, yes. And we do have evasive maneuvers. Need to do that as well. You're right. It's a +1 on the die. So it's going to be 4 hits. However, evasive maneuvers. I forgot. Let me get to that. There we go. Evasive maneuvers. All right. So now what I need you guys to do is choose. Do we evade left, right, or straight? Pick one of those. Left, right, or straight. The first one to get 2 votes is what we're going to go with. There's about a 20 to 30 second lag, Merrick. All right, left is going to be it. That, by the way, that's what I would have chosen too, was left. All right, so we're gonna zig left. Okay, so now choose. I'll choose. Save a little time. 3 or 4. We'll choose 3. All right. Okay, so we're gonna roll a 1d6 to determine the escort direction result. So we're going left. We don't want a 1 or a 2. All right, it's a 3. So hold on. And I said 3. So if escort direction result matches the U-boat evasive direction, but the number is not the same, the U-boat adds a hit. If it's identical, it would add 3 hits. Okay, if the escort direction result is different from the U-boat's evasive direction, subtract a hit from the escort attack roll. So because it was a different direction, we actually subtract 1. So we actually are only taking 3 hits. All right. Okay, so we take 3 hits now. So now, normally what we would do is we would go through, and let me show you guys this. Normally, what we would do is we would roll on this chart here, but we're not going to do that because we have the map. So instead, we're going to do what's actually on the map here. We're going to roll 2d6s, okay? we will roll a black and a white. The black number will be first, and wherever it ends up is what ends up getting damaged. Has a little fun with that. So, black die is the first one. So that's 3-2. So looking for 3-2. 3-2 is going to be flooding times 2. Okay, so I'm just going to put one of the markers on that. That's one of the hits. All right, we have 2 more. That's 1-2. 1-2 is going to be another flooding. And one more hit to withstand. That is 5-2. And 5-2 is one of the deck guns. Let me see. Do I? Yep, I do. All right. So those are the 3 hits that we take. Okay. So our flooding, we actually have 3 flooding. So that'll be 1, 2, 3. Sorry, wrong thing. My apologies, wrong one. Let's get that back. That's 1, 2, 3 so far. So 3 flooding there. Okay. So now, roll for hits, determine damage. If the U-boat is not sunk, if flooding occurred, roll a 1d6 to stop additional flooding. Rolls of 5 or 6 results in 1 additional flooding damage taken. All right, so hopefully we roll low. And then we double back, and we have to avoid escort again. So, but 5 or 6 is bad. Okay, so let's roll 2d6. I'm sorry, a 1d6 and roll low. Flooding has stopped at 3. There we go. Flooding has stopped at 3. All right. So now we have to move back now to escort detection. All right. So 8 or less. Previously detected means 7 or less. No, no, no. 7 or less. Here we go. Okay. That's an 11, which really is previously detected. That's 12. Come on! Glory to Rome! So, yeah, this didn't count, but this did. So that's actually a 12. So the 12 is detected. But again, it's a green escort, so it's going to be -1 hit. But now, pick a direction. Left, right, or straight. Oh, God. Oh. Left, right, or straight, guys. So I'm going to count that as a right. So zig and zag. So going left first and zag. So going right. All right, we're going to go right. So I'm going to choose a number going right. I'm going to choose 3 again. Here we go. Roll a 1d6. That's a 4. So it's going to be minus one more hit. No, wait. A 4, the direction was correct. Direction, but the number is not the same. It adds a hit. So that cancels our minus 1 of the green. So now, here we go. So we're going to roll 2. We have no hits now. So here we go. We need a 2 or a 3, I hope. Oh, man. That's 8. 8 is 2 more hits. Oh, boy. All right, so let's roll and see where our damage is. 2-2. 2-2 is 1 more flooding. So we'll just go ahead and bump that up 1. Okay. And then the other hit is 3-6. 3-6 is our electric engine. So our electric engine, there, damaged. Okay. We're not sunk. We go back to 8. Eight or less. Previously detected is not 7 or less. Do we crash dive? I think we do at this point. So exceed test depth? I think so. So this will offset the +1 of the previously detected. So it's going to be an 8 or less at this point. Come on. Oh, sorry. Need to check flooding. Thank you. That'll stick, though. That'll hold. So the flooding, I'll roll. We have this. And then the flooding. Hold on. I just rolled it again accidentally. 1 more flooding. There. I just gave us 1 more. 2 more and we're sunk. Just FYI. So that took the extra. And now we rolled an 11. An 11 is detected. So we'll roll here and then see what happens here first. How many hits? And then we'll try and zigzag. That's an 8. An 8 is 2 hits. Pick a direction. You know what? I'm going to make the command. No. We're in it this far. Pick a direction. Left, right, or straight. Whew. Oh, you're right. Green is -1 hit. So we're down to 1 hit. Good call. Thank you, Joe. I'm thinking we go back left. See, they'll think that we're either going to go straight or right. I think left is the right call. Just It's a fair point. So let's see. It's +1 per electric engine. So I rolled an 8. So that's actually a 9. So that's going to be 3 hits, -1, which is still back to 2 hits. Good point. Thank you. All right, looks like left seems to be the direction we're going to go. So left, I'm going to choose 2. For the number, here we go. The number is 1. They went left with us. The direction matches our direction, but the number is not the same. They get +1 hit. So let's see. Rolled an 8. That's 2 hits. An electric engine is damaged. That's 3 hits. It's a green crew, which is 2 hits, but +1 because they guessed the same direction. Ultimately, it's 3 hits. All right. 3 hits it is. Here we go. 1-3. 1-3 is another flooding. One more flood, and we're sunk, guys, because it's a Type 9 Alpha. All right, so 2 hits to go. No more flooding, please. I'm not thirsty. 2-2. Flooding. We're sunk. And the third one is 2-6. And 2-6 is crew gets damaged. Well, okay. So let's continue this. Hold on. I understand we're dead, but crew injury now. We're going to roll 2d6 on this. That's a 10. The second officer, then we have to figure out how badly he got wounded before he drowned. Oh, and I get 1 hull damage too. Good point, Harry. And that's a 5. So who was it that got hurt? I'm sorry. Was that the second warrant officer is severely wounded? So the second warrant officer is severely wounded. And when he's severely wounded, just FYI, U-boat must abort patrol if he's the acting commandant, which he's not. So, okay. All right. Then, we exceeded hull depth, right? So, our hull damage would be there as well. And give me just a second here. So I guess technically we blew ballast and surfaced, so we were captured. I guess we weren't sunk from the flooding. Is that correct? Am I right in that? I think so. I think that technically is it, right? A moment. I'm trying to get this right. 10-1. The crew must blow ballast, immediately surface, and attempt to scuttle the U-boat. This action is taken immediately. Ignore any remaining hits that have not yet been resolved. So hold on. Never mind. He wasn't. Okay. That didn't happen, but that's how it would have happened. So now we need to roll for the scuttle. So let me get to the scuttle part. Scuttling, which is 10-9. All right. Certain results require the Commandant to order the crew to scuttle the U-boat. For example, if the flooding damage marker enters the last space, or the last space as it is for ours. Which it did right there because Type 9 Alpha. Okay. The scuttle attempts are resolved by rolling 2d6. On a roll of 2 to 11, the scuttle is successful. If the roll is 12, the scuttling fails and the U-boat is captured. In either case, the crew is captured and becomes POWs. Apply an unfavorable +1 modifier to the scuttle attempt if the Commandant is seriously wounded. I am not. If both diesel engines are inoperable, we haven't even gotten a chance, but it's just damaged. Sorry, diesel, not electric. And the U-boat is more than one travel box away from port, the U-boat is automatically considered to have successfully scuttled. However, roll 2d6 to see if the crew is successfully recovered. On a roll of 2 to 10, the radio is not inoperable. So in other words, this is going to matter for endgame scoring. So, okay. So we need to roll a 2 to 11. In other words, anything but a 12. That's an 8. So, POWs. So now, let's go back to the beginning. Determine victory. Based on the total tonnage of enemy shipping sunk, or check that. The game ends immediately, regardless of the date, should you as Commandant be killed or in action or taken prisoner. Once the game has ended, you determine victory. Consult your log sheet at the end of play and add up the total tonnage of ships sunk during your career. All right, so let's do that. So, we were at 35.7. I mean, I understand how this is going to turn out, but indulge me. So we're at 35.7. We sank another 7,200. Then we sank another 6,700, which is my decision to go after that is what killed us, by the way. And then we sunk another 8,600. 58,200. Okay. So, 58,200. It's a draw. At 50,000 up to 99,999 tons sunk. You have fulfilled your obligations to the nation. Book and movie offers after the war are probably not in your cards, however. But it's a draw. I didn't lose. So that's redemption as far as I'm concerned. And when things went bad, they went really bad real quick, didn't they? I fulfilled my obligation as Commandant. My crew didn't even get injured. We sank 58,200 tons of Allied shipping. We helped the war effort. My entire crew finishes the war alive. I don't have to write letters. That's a win as far as I'm concerned. Yeah, redemption. Check. To me, game 0. We're 2-0 this week. I'll take it. It wasn't a win. It was a draw. Okay, fine. I'm 1-0-1. But you know what? I didn't have to write any letters saying, "Dear Mr. and Mrs., I regret to inform you." So there's that. I'll take it. So, all right, the Hunters. It's awesome. I think the narrative that this game tells is a blast. I think this is Tales of the Arabian Night. No, that's not true because that's not a game. That's just an activity. This is like a choose-your-own adventure for wargamers. And yeah, I think for what it tries to do, I think it's phenomenal. Now, there's a fair bit of chrome here, no doubt, and, you know, hey, reference this and whatever, but you saw that as things get on a roll, things move along pretty well. So, and, I mean, come on. You're telling me this doesn't add to the game as opposed to it being that and that? I mean, I'm not dissing on GMT because these guys made and published an amazing game, but yeah, to me, this makes the game that much better. It really does. And honestly, I think it's a worthy investment. If this is going to be a game that you're going to be interested in getting, spend the extra, like I said, I think it was $21 for me to get it printed on one of their large format printers, and I roll it up, keep it in a bag, and it's worth it to me, at least, because I love maps anyways, and I think it looks pretty, and yeah. So big thank you to Gregory M. Smith for designing the game, and yeah, I really am a big fan of this. So hopefully you guys enjoyed it. It seems like you guys did. Oh, really interesting. Alan says there's a BGG discussion about the randomness. An actual submariner stated that the decisions in the game are pretty much the sort of decisions a submariner makes. Yeah, and like I said, the story of this, right? I mean, if we look at this now, and you're talking about the story here, be like, we went out on the first patrol, and we didn't really encounter a whole lot. We sank a couple of smaller ships, and then we were able to refit out at sea. We avoided detection. Then we came across the Nordal, sank her, as well as the Vingaland. Then we had a convoy, and we shot, and we had to go at long range. It didn't go really well for us. They were able to avoid. We avoided detection, and that ended that. Then we went into the refit at sea, and then we encountered the Vancouver Island, a large freighter, and sank her. It was a huge success. There were steaks for dinner for the whole crew that night. It was fantastic. Then we sank the Bancrest, and then ran into another convoy. And when we did, they had the Astral, and the Astral was the biggest ship that we had ever encountered as a crew. We focused on damaging her, and we did, and then we followed, and she was unescorted, and we put her to the bottom of the sea. Then after that, I guess after that is when we actually refitted at sea. Sorry about that. Then we ran into, or we saw the carrier Eagle. And it was majestical. And we were so excited as a crew to be able to tell everybody that we sank a carrier. But unfortunately, all of our torpedoes were either duds or missed, and she got away. But then we sank the TM, and then we ran into a huge convoy of 3 tankers. And we were able to sink 2 of them, but unfortunately, the depth charges got us, and we had to surface. But our commandant did an amazing job, and nobody died. We were captured, but we were treated very well by the American, this is in 40, by the British, and finished the rest of the war in captivity, but grew old. And we were able to, thanks to an amazing commandant. Yeah, I mean, come on. It's a pretty good narrative. It's pretty good. I know it recently got reprinted by GMT because a lot of people were saying, hey, I just got my copy of the third printing. So check on GMT's website. So there you go. And yeah, the custom map, I mean, seriously, you guys saw it all game. So yeah, it's worth it in my opinion. So there you go. Thank you, everybody. That was a lot of fun. So if you guys did enjoy it, give it a thumb down below, please. Seriously, it really does help the channel. There's a reason that every YouTube channel in the world asks you to do that. Subscribe if you don't. Hit the little bell notification so that you get a notification whenever I go live. And we did get one, but if you guys go to pledgehc.com, support the show, a couple bucks a month, get added to that number. In addition to that, get shout outs on the show. Certainly appreciate it. Get access to the Slack channel. And if you're at the $10 and up level, you also get access to my teaching notes that I use, that I write up for a lot of the games. Not all, but a lot of the games. So there you go. So thank you, everybody. That was a lot of fun. I will be doing behind the scenes stuff for the next couple days. I will be back on Saturday with Vital Lacerda's On Mars, which will conclude Redemption Week and get that one right as well. That was fun. I really enjoyed that. Hopefully you guys did as well. I'll see you guys in a couple of days. Continue social distancing. Be smart. If you're in a state or a country or whatever that has eased restrictions, be smart. Wear your mask. Keep your distance. Because I think things are going to get worse, way worse. I think we're putting the cart before the horse, but that's a discussion for another day. Be safe. Be kind to one another. Eat well. Life's too short to eat good or bad food. I'm going to go play The Witcher and chill out for a little bit. I'll see you guys on Saturday at 3 p.m., 1500 Eastern Daylight Time. I'll see you all then. Thanks, everybody. Take care. Undefeated on Redemption Week. Let's keep it rolling. Way to go, Herman Hagenow.